Welcome to Andy D. Cole's podcast. Please like, share and subscribe.
Welcome to Andy D. Cole's podcast. Press like and subscribe.
Welcome to Andy Decodes. Sit back and enjoy. And into the unknown.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hey, hey.
We are joined once again by Aage Nost. Welcome. Thank you for coming on again.
Well, I'm glad to be here. This is going to be fun.
I'm probably not going to have a clue at half the stuff you're going to be talking about, but I'll do my best to understand exactly what you mean.
Oh, you're probably sharper than you think. I think you got some good insights there.
I think it's a quantum side to it that I don't get, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just a quick Sorry, go on. Okay.
I'm just riding back seat with you guys. Wherever you want to go is okay with me.
Cool. Just a quick update. We are going to be doing a Skywatch in the next few weeks. So if anyone's interested, just email me at info@andydecodes.com. Up to either 6 or 8 people, depending how many people want to do it. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, where you're going to be or where in the world you are. Doesn't even matter about the weather, as long as you're happy if it is raining for your phone to get wet. So I'm going to be sat in the nice warmth of this chair and just watching 6 or 8 sky views. So, but we'll sort that out over on the stream that we do on Saturday. So now that's out the way, Aage, we are going to be talking about the existence or the non-existence of time, or something similar to that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be part of it.
Yeah, and that is all I've got. So do you want to carry on from there?
Oh boy. Time is something that everybody think they understand and they're familiar with it. They know how it works. We can think about the past and remember, and then we see the present, which becomes the past, and then we can imagine the future. So we know, right? Well, we all know that the time comes from the past, passing through the present, going on into the future. But is it really that way?
I'm already lost.
Yeah.
Mine's already...
But the thing about it is that quantum mechanics, we have to lean on that a little bit. And even the equations and the experiments, the repeatable scientific experiments show us that time may not even exist. It might just be a mind construct in order for us to understand what is happening. Because the equations in quantum mechanics show that time, past, present, and future happening at the same time. It is at the same time. So, but how can that be? If it was all sitting there at the same time, how in the world could we understand it? That wouldn't work, would it? No. So we have, our mind have to create a system for us to be able to experience things in a linear fashion which our brain can understand. Because the brain is like a computer. Whatever you put in it, memories, knowledge, experiences, belief, all those things, that becomes the software. So now we have a software and we have a hardware. Brain's the hardware.
Yep.
Now, if that all was happening at the same time, it would be just a bungled up mess. So we have to create that system where we have a linear progression of present moment. And that is what really time is in the physical. It is, so what I have seen, and science isn't talking much about this yet. There is a Russian scientist that is kind of mentioned it, but time in the physical is composed or put together by present moment, because present moment is the only thing there is.
Right.
Now, if you have a present moment right now, then you have another present moment later. The one you had right now becomes memory.
Yeah.
So now, if we have present moments stacked one after another one, they're so close. They're only separated by just I guess it's 1 to the 32nd power, according to quantum mechanics. And they are so close that when we move through it, it appears to be just one long movie, and we are the star actor in the movie.
Yes.
So time is then a present moment that there become a permanent record of in the past. So we can actually go back and memorize what happened in the past in that present moment and bring it forward so we can experience it again in our present moment then as they move along. The present moments are separated only with a tiny little distance, and that's the Planck distance. Now, that is in this timeline that we have right now. And I noticed that when we were texting before, you wanted to also talk a little bit about timelines. There are other timelines that is laid on top of this one and separated by this one, all depending on decisions and happenings that we are doing or involved in right now. So let's say you don't like what's happening in your life at all. I mean, it sucks. So you want to get rid of that. You want to change. You want something different. One good way to do that is to create another timeline where that thing is not in it. And this sounds complicated, but it can be simple. Let me give you an example. I've changed timelines several times, many times.
Yeah.
And the first major one that I can relate to is when I grew up in Norway, back on a farm back in Norway. And, traditions are very strong over there. So since I was the only son on that farm, I was going to be a farmer. There was no buts about it. You are going to be a farmer. So I accepted that. I went to agricultural college and I became an agronomist and I was starting to run the farm. But I figured it out. I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. And I didn't know how I was going to change it. But I found out what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a professional pilot.
Yeah.
So I made a decision. I left Norway and I went to the United States to become a professional pilot, and I did that. Now, if I had continued on that timeline being a farmer, it would have been a great life. Well, Norway's kind of gone to pot lately, but it would have been a good life.
Yeah.
But I changed it. I became the pilot when I went to the United States. I changed that timeline. And I'm still wondering what the guy over in Norway is doing, because chances are that the old timeline continue on its own, because it kind of had to, because thoughts are energy. Your mind creates the construct that you see around you so you can experience it. And energy does not go away. It can only be transformed. So that energy that was the farmer, it would have to continue in one form or another.
Right.
And so did the new timeline with a pilot in it. And people out there now wondering, well, how does that apply to me? What can I do with this that will benefit my life? Yes, you can. Because first of all, if you're very happy with what you're doing right now and your life is good, don't change a thing. Everything is working for you. If your life sucks and you just want to do something different, start imagining and redesigning that new life in your mind. You can do this. It's fairly simple. I didn't say easy, because you got to do some thinking. You have to create that new life in your mind in concept and detail.
Yeah.
When you do, you start creating mental bubble that is placed into the present moments, that goes into the quantum existence and becomes part of the past, and it becomes part of the future, because you are thinking of it as also being in the future. So now you are creating this timeline in your mind. And the more you think of it, the more solid it becomes. You can create this new life that you want to see, with a new house and maybe a new something or other, whatever you want. Create it in your mind. Take that mental bubble, place it into, let's say, the future, Christmas party, New Year's party, birthday, or something like that. Forget the calendar. The universal mind don't care about calendars. That's man-made.
Yeah.
But take the time-coded event in the future and go back and visit it every day. Put more detail into it. Put more emotion into it. Put love into it. Put other people into it that you want to do or have this with. Put intention into it. Tell yourself it is happening now, because you are creating it right now. And when you do this more and more, and then do everything you can to help make it happen, you're going to find that there's going to be people falling into your path that are going to help you do this. You don't have to do it on your own. The universe will get in the game with you and help you create the situations that can unfold this new timeline, or this new thing that you created in your mind. Yeah. And it is repeatable. You can do this. It is fairly simple, but don't expect it all to happen tomorrow afternoon at 4:15.
Damn.
Just allow for the time to unfold towards that future time-coded event.
Yeah.
I've done this and it works. In fact, Nori Love and I, we created a a kind of like a spiritual think tank. It's a mastermind.
Yeah.
And we have, in that mastermind, it seems like we're creating out of seemingly nothing sometimes. Just about every time that we get together. And because we got to remember what a mastermind is. That is when two or more minds are united in harmony, they create a third mind that has the potential mind power of the two or more of them multiplied by each other. So if 1,000 people get together, concentrate on one thing, focus on it, put emotion and intention and love and gratitude for already having it and mental images into that one thing. Now it is not only a thought anymore. It becomes an energy. 1,000 people times 1,000. Now you have the mind power of 1,000,000 minds working to create this thing. That is powerful. And that is why that we are getting the results we do.
Yeah.
In the mastermind.
Yeah. So I do understand quite a lot of that, a lot more than I thought I was going to. So I'm quite impressed with myself. It's just, see how the past, present, and future are all happening at the same time. I just can't get my head around it.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, there's some science behind all of this.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody have seen the trilogy, the movie Matrix.
Yes.
And when you see all those numbers flowing down, black background and green numbers coming down, yeah, it looks so good. There is something to this, because there is a physicist. His name is James Gate, and he's been studying the universe all his life, and he looks to be probably maybe around 60, I don't know. And he says that on the blackboard, using the principles of quantum mechanics, when we go deep in the equations explaining this particles creating the space and time, we find computer language. We didn't put it there. It just shows up. And it is too organized to be there by accident. And intelligence put it there. And if an intelligence put it there, first of all, we wonder who that is. And for the second, if we have computer language, there's got to be a computer somewhere, right? Probably not like this laptop, but a bigger one, more complicated. But it's a mind created holograph. Yeah.
Are we a simulation?
Say again?
So are we a simulation?
Now you're getting somewhere. It is either a simulation or an happening that could be used as a simulation. I'm not so sure that it was actually a simulation. It could be, but I think that the mind creates this. The universal mind creates this to see what kind of possibilities can emerge from it. And this universal mind has many names to it, the all, God, if you like. It can have many names.
Yeah.
But this is holographically projected from your mind. That is both the local brain, the local mind, and the non-local mind. The non-local minds create the platform for our mind to create in. And there's only one thing that can create something like this, and that is intention-driven thought.
Okay.
And let me give you an example, because that will kind of prove that, yes, we can create physical things with our mind. We can do that. I'm a
Yeah.
hypnotist. Let's say I put you in a soft chair and talk to you for 10 minutes and tell you that when you wake up, you're going to see an elephant standing over there. And if I did my job right, snap my finger, bring you back out, and you look over there, you're going to see the elephant. You
Yeah.
reach out, touch the snout on him, you can feel the rough skin. You can hear him breathing, you can smell him. He is right there. And I don't care if you're on the 44th floor of an apartment building, but the doors are too small, that thing could never make it up there. The elephant would be there. But there is a problem. I can't see the elephant because there is no elephant there. But that elephant is absolutely real in your mind. You can feel the rough skin. He is right there. So,
Yeah.
what happened to your real world? It went away, didn't it?
Yeah.
So if that elephant was created out of seemingly nothing, only appeared in your mind, and your physical senses recognize what was created in your mind so you can feel the rough skin. What is different between all of this, that piano back there and that computer?
Yeah.
There is no difference. Only that this computer and everything else is a little more elaborate because it had 14 billion years to develop itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is hard to wrap our heads around.
Yeah, because things are only real because collectively we've decided that they're real.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. And then both collectively, we have decided on certain things. We have decided that we can breathe air, and we live from breathing air, not from breathing nitrogen, which is much more in the air than oxygen. So there's some commonality. We know that rocks are hard. If somebody throw one at you, it's going to hurt. We have all accepted that. And then we have the elephant. You accepted that elephant, but I did not, because I kind of talked you into it.
Yeah.
So there is both individual and common creation within the system.
Mm.
And so it becomes a holographic illusion of reality. But this illusion does not only stay in the physical, it also advances into higher vibration. There is illusion also within the astral world that is next to ours, right above us in vibration. And astral travelers will tell you that. They can meet disembodied souls or entities out there. And then there are thought forms. There are things that has never had a physical body. They don't know anything about us, but they're curious. There are things out there that exist in a higher vibration, but we cannot see it, though they can see us.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I was to, obviously, like you said, it's not going to happen straight away. But if I was to concentrate on a specific object that it's either what doesn't exist, would that then be removed from my vision, or would it still be there?
Well, let's think of what this thing that you're talking about is. What is it? Is it actually real physical, or is it created by the mind? If the mind creates it, it can manipulate physical reality.
Okay.
And there are stories on stories on stories of healing. People thought themselves well.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have happened. One of them is from about 1987, something like yeah, about that time. There was a guy named Morris Goodman. He was in an airplane accident, and the plane crashed, and he broke his spine, severed the spinal cord. He ruptured the diaphragm, so he could not breathe. He could only breathe in an iron lung where he had help because of pressure. And he went to work. He understood the mind, so he went to work and visualized a healthy body. And within months, he regrew the spinal cord, and he repaired the bones of the spine. And the first thing that happened was that he regrew the diaphragm so he could breathe again. And the doctors were dumbfounded. Nothing like that has ever happened before. And it, according to medical science, can't happen. But it did, because he thought it into existence. Within months, he was up walking.
That's crazy.
But
you hear stories about that, like when they have like hundreds of people like praying and thinking that this person's going to get better, and then they do for no reason, no medical reason.
Exactly. And doctors call it spontaneous remission. Well, okay, that's good if it's cancer and stuff. How do you like Joe Dispenza? How did he regrow his spine that was shattered?
Yeah, that's not something you can do.
No.
In a few months, he was up walking. And he walked into to the doctor's office, and he said, "You hadn't expected to see me, have you?" The doctor told him, he asked him, "What'd you do?" And he started to tell him, and he said, "I'm not even interested. I don't want to know."
Is that, get out. I can't cope. One of those. What? Question. It's going to sound really stupid, but asking, is he human or was he some kind of hybrid?
Who?
The guy in the plane crash.
Oh no, he was perfectly human. He just became his normal self again. And what we did with the mastermind, we've done things kind of like this, not the spine or anything, but there was a lady that she was on her deathbed in the hospital with COVID, and she was going down the tube fast. They were going to start the ventilator the next day. And we wrapped our mastermind around her, and we saw her walking out of the hospital the next day. And in the afternoon, the next day, her husband called me and he said, "My wife is home." The doctor said, "You recovered so fast, we couldn't see holding you here anymore." Yeah. And there's many, many stories like this that we have had. And I would love for people to get in touch with me on this one, because we need more people to make it stronger. We got a phenomenal group of people right now. And I'm going to throw it out there. If somebody wants to be part of something like this and see it up close, or hear it actually, more or less, send us an email to themastermindconnection@gmail.com. themastermindconnection@gmail.com. And if you want to know how to do this on your own, just get a hold of this book. You can't see. Anyway, there it is. Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousness. I teach you how to do this all by yourself, and within you and your family or other people. Church groups can do it, and it is extremely powerful. It teaches you how to use your minds in ways that you normally would think would be impossible.
Do you think that that's behind a lot of paranormal phenomena, like people go into a place thinking that something's there, so they kind of manifest that?
I think that has something to do with it, because if you're open to things, then other people's thoughts will, you pick up other people's thoughts. Let's say that you've been totally don't believe UFOs exist at all up to, let's say, last year.
Yeah.
And you've never seen anything. And now you say, the government is coming out and saying they're real. So, okay, now you're open to it. Now you can accept other people's vibration in the form of thoughts more coming into your mind, saying, I saw this, I saw that, this is real. And now you're more open to it. And chances are that since you're open to it, you may be able to see things. But if you're absolutely against this cannot happen, chances are that it's very unlikely you would see anything.
Yeah.
Your mind would block it. The conscious mind has all the filters in it, all your belief and everything there, and that seeps down into the subconscious mind. And with the subconscious mind kind of works on memory only, because all the things that you've done, said, experienced, and seen and heard is lodged in there. Even stupid things like if your neighbor tells you you're an idiot, okay, that goes into the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And the subconscious mind take everything at face value. So the subconscious mind is walking around thinking, oh, I'm an idiot. Well, that means I'm going to do stupid things. So here it goes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of playing on words there, but
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
Yeah. And when it comes to things like that, get on YouTube and watch Broadcast Team Alpha. Go into the video section of it, and I got a bunch of videos down there that show you how to work with the mind and tell you how to do things, to do incredible things actually. And setting up a mastermind of your own is very important. You can do that. If you have a family, 3 people in it, set up a mastermind with the 3 of you. Sit down, discuss what do we want in the future? What do we want our life to be like? And then start building that mental bubble around it. Now you are creating the future before you have to live it.
Yeah.
It's amazing that nobody talks about this, because I know Greg Braden does, Joe Dispenza, and well, Bruce Lipton does too. Go on YouTube and listen to those guys. It's going to raise your vibration. You're going to be smarter. You are going to know things that Joe Blow and Harry Hohandle down the street has no clue on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we've got a couple of questions for you. Is it okay?
Just bring them on.
Before the break, then we can do the others after. So the first question is from Adam, and he wants to know, who was a magician who taught you hypnosis?
Oh, yeah, that was back in Norway, back in the dark ages, some 60-some years ago. Tore Torell, T-O-R-E, Torell. And he, if you go on, he's got a few shows on YouTube, but he did some amazing things with the mind. He told me one time, he says, some of the things I do, he said, should not work, but it does.
I was worried he was going to say it was Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie Valentine.
Yeah. Actually, he died a few years ago, maybe a couple of years ago.
Oh.
But he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal magician.
Cool. Thank you for that.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question is from Sober Carper, just to mix it up a bit. There we go. So if past, present, and future are all the same, then what unit of measurement would be correct to differentiate one event from another?
The Planck distance. That is
Planck
the
distance.
only. The Planck distance is the distance between this present moment and the next present moment. Because there's some science to this too. Some of you out there that is educated a little bit in electronics, you will know what a square wave generator is. That is an electronic device that has a sine wave of a spike that moves over a little bit and then it collapses to nothing. And then there's another spike, move over a little bit and collapses to nothing. In between each spike, there is no electric activity at all.
No.
Same thing with time. You have a spike that creates a present moment, and the universe collapses to nothing. And then it moves over a little bit, and it spikes again. You got another present moment, and move over a little bit, and it collapses to nothing. That's how the present moments are stacked one after another, with a distance between each one of them equal to the Planck distance. That is I believe it is 1 to the 32nd power of a second. That is pretty close. There's hardly any distance at all. What we can see only on the blackboard, you can see it in form of numbers.
Yeah.
It is. Summer said, thank you for that. I understand what you're saying, but it's hard to get your head around. It is hard to get your head around because it's it's not.
It's not the normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm with him on that one. It is really hard to wrap your head around.
Well, it's not normal. It's more we're not told this. We're not taught this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sort of stuff we should be being taught in schools, not algebra or equations and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the real stuff is what we should.
It's like when you think about space and the distances, like you can't wrap your head around the amounts and it just doesn't make sense in your head.
No.
Yeah. I've studied quantum mechanics some, and when it gets into the equations, I lose myself. I lose myself pretty quick, actually. But the concept and the verifiable, scientific, repeatable experiments, that I can understand. So in concept, I get it. And if you look into the equation a little bit, you can also see that some of the surface stuff on the equations can support the experiments.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry. Just a quick one about with what you're talking about now. So this is from Elaine or Aage. So many different names. She's put, can you remind us, please, of the book you mentioned?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one is. Oh boy. Yeah, there you go. Spiritual Science. Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousness. You can find this one on Amazon, pretty much anywhere in the world. Well, not really. If you're in North Korea, forget it. But so they're probably not watching anyway.
No, they're not allowed.
Yeah. But that book, I get emails every week from 1 or 2 or 3 people saying it changed my life, because now I can do things that I never even existed or that I could do. So I explain the universe, how it works, and how you can work it to your advantage.
Yeah.
And another thing in there, I talk about how to never, ever be sick in your life. And I've never been sick in my life, actually.
Yeah.
Well, except for maybe a few well-deserved hangovers, but otherwise nothing.
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is something that is so simple to do, and it's free. And I've
Yeah.
done that. That's a different subject. You'll find it in the book. But if people want to know, then you can get in touch with me too. And I also talk about it on Broadcast Team Alpha. Way down in the videos, you'll find something about it also.
Excellent.
Big Pharma is immediately shutting this down.
Say again?
Big Pharma is immediately shutting this down.
Oh.
You just talked about how not to get sick.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be careful with that stuff.
Yeah, we'd both be out of jobs.
Yeah, we would, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
That's no good.
I know. All right. Do you want to do the next question, Nicole, and then we can go for a break?
So this one is for Sober Carpet. How does self-healing connect with the absence of time?
How does self-healing connect with the absence of time? I don't know about the self-healing. I'm not so sure I understand, actually. No, I can see that the permanent expression of healing, that is lodged in the present moment. So I'm not so sure how the absence of time, I'm not sure I understand how that can correlate. Either I don't understand the question or I just don't know the answer, and you can take your pick on that one.
I don't know.
I don't either, but
maybe he's just asking how it relates, like if it relates.
Not the absence of time, because absence of time means no present moments at all. And then we have people that say, yeah, but I know there's a camera that was developed that takes, millions of frames a second. I can catch that moment in between the present moments, and I don't see it. It's always there. So I don't believe you. I had one guy tell me that one time. Well, the trick about it is that the Planck distance in there between each present moment, the universe doesn't exist. With other words, the camera in the universe does not exist, so it cannot take the picture.
Right.
So that, at least I can understand that it was a good thought. If you have a camera fast enough and you were able to keep the camera, you should be able to see the blank spots between the present moment, but the camera doesn't exist there. Boy, I think deep.
It's like everything you say, I have to take a moment to let it sink in.
Yeah.
Process it.
So we've just put, oh yep, stick a fork in, mate. I'm done. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good phrase, actually. I'll have to try and remember that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm going to use that when I haven't got a clue what anyone's talking about, so pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I'll stick a fork in me. That's good.
Yeah. Right. We're going to do a 3-minute break. Is that all right? We have got, well, there's one more question. Hopefully there'll be a few more, but if not, we can.
Oh, I have plenty.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I've spoke to Aage a few times, so most of my questions have gone and been asked, and I still don't understand.
See, the thing is, there is no such thing as dumb questions. Actually, yes, there is.
Trust me, I've asked them.
Yeah. The only dumb question that exists is the one you already know the answer to, because the question would be unnecessary.
Yeah. I think with them sort of questions, though, you kind of want to see if the person is going to give you the answer that you think it is, or a completely different answer. I don't think they're really trick questions. It's just to get a different perspective on what it is that's being talked about. So
it's like, I know the answer, but I want to see if you can confirm the answer that I think it is.
yeah,
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
Or you want to test the other guy and say, how smart are you?
yeah. Right.
That's
So
the thing with this show. There's so many different perspectives on like the same topic.
Well, in that case, I gotta have to reverse myself, saying that there is no dumb question.
I don't know. That might be a challenge.
Yeah.
You never know. Right, we'll do 3-minute break. So see you then. Get your questions in before
All right,
Nicole
sounds good.
fills up the space. See you then. And we are back. Oh, well, 3 of us are back. Just checking. I was
Didn't realize
listening to the footsteps. Right.
Yeah.
So, are we ready for more questions? Would Nicole, do you want to ask any of yours first?
So I want to ask about Mandela effects. I'm sure you're like very familiar with those, right?
Oh yeah. I've seen some of it.
What are your thoughts on the Mandela effects and the timeline and everything?
Well, if we can take that back to its beginning about the president of South Africa, that in the late 1980s, I think thousands and thousands of people remember that he died, but he didn't. How did that memory come about? Well, chances are that there were two different timelines that we may have been engaging. In one of them, he died, but in the other one, he did not. And we now are remaining in the one where he did not die. But we still have residual bits of memory from the other one by being in that timeline for a short moment and experiencing that. I have, an experience kind of like that. What I'm calling it is time slippage. You slip between different timelines. And that's probably the easier way to explaining that, going to different universes, because within each universe you have many different timelines. And chances are that you did not go into another universe, but you stayed within this universe and just slipped between timelines. That is more explainable in quantum mechanics also. And now I remember coming home one time, I had my hands full of grocery bags, walking through the hallway into the kitchen, putting the grocery bags on the table, on the island, and putting some of the groceries away in the fridge. And I had put my car keys I had it on my finger walking through the front door, so I put it on the island, and I turn around, the car keys are gone. They're not there. I was looking for them for quite a while, and I found them in the freezer. Of all places. But the trick was, I did not put any of the groceries in the freezer. I had not been in there.
Okay.
So now I wondered about that. This quite a while ago, but I wondered about that, and I've come to that the only thing I can explain it by is that I slipped from a timeline in the kitchen after I put the groceries away. I slipped into another timeline where I didn't put the keys on the island, but I had it on my finger, and I was putting stuff in the freezer, and then the keys fell in the freezer. That is the only thing I can explain it with.
Yeah.
But most people, when they have goofy stuff like this happen, they immediately try to look for a way to explain it away, because they can say, yeah, I just didn't remember what I did. But I remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you didn't put anything in the freezer, there's no reason for you to have the freezer open.
Yeah. This is so strange. But there are thousands of people that have goofy things like this happen. So wait a minute, I thought I did that already, but I didn't. And then they immediately try to explain it away. Oh, I guess I didn't do it after all.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be sat here.
Yeah.
I'll be sat here getting stuff ready for the next stream or editing or something, and I'll put something down, and everything's within reach. So where I sit, it's like a big L shaped. So I've got the desk and then all this behind me. So I know where everything is. I'll put something down, I'll turn around to grab something, come back, and it's gone. It's like I've not even moved out the chair. I've turned like 70 degrees, put something down, come back, and it's gone. And I'll sit and I'm looking around, and it's like I don't even know what's happening. So I'll carry on what I'm doing, then I'll look up and it'll be there, but it won't be where I put it originally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
people have these things happen. And I would highly suggest, don't try to dismiss it right away. Ask more questions. Ask yourself the questions. what did I really do? And go into meditation, maybe ask, what did I really do? Try to find the answer. Chances are you will find out that there's no need to try to explain it away, because
No.
you did both things in two different timelines.
Yeah.
Do you think that CERN has anything to do with the start of the Mandela effects and like slipping timelines?
Oh boy, I don't know what's happening over there. It's just so convoluted. And one of the scientists have come out and said, the portals are open. Whatever comes in can come in. CERN over in Switzerland, they have some really strange things happening in the sky. There's suddenly a formation of clouds that is rotating, and a few minutes later they're gone. And they're goofy things that cannot be explained. But they say, oh, this is just from the energy. From two subatomic particles crashing together create all of these things.
Yeah.
Because everything is connected. It's not just the two particles. They're not separate from anything else. They are connected to everything else. So everything is affected if you break apart those two particles, subatomic particles. It affects everything else, and it can create, evidently, the portals opening for things to come down from other realities.
Mm.
Now, here's a good one. There was, I think, a few years ago now, and I've been looking for this video and I can't find it anymore, but there was one of the scientists at CERN. He was speaking on the floor of the European Parliament, and he was going to explain, a little bit about what they're doing. And the first thing he said, first of all, he says, I have to apologize. He says, we destroyed the Earth. So we are in a different timeline now. And then he went on with his talk. And people in the audience, they started laughing and they thought it was fun. What if he was telling the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to get it out in the open when nobody believes you and you can say what you have to say, but people think it's a joke.
But why would someone from that organization make something up like that? And even if it is like tongue in cheek, it's still kind of real, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think, though, that the only two possibilities I'm thinking of is that, there's this concept saying that every good speech should start with a joke. But
right.
And then that joke should be understood by the audience, so they seem it to be humorous. Well, maybe they did. But on the other one, he could have been telling the truth. Because if that was destroyed, all the energy in that timeline where they destroyed the Earth had to go somewhere. And it came here, created this timeline with us in it right now. Energy doesn't go away. All that energy with the old Earth, call it that, had to go somewhere.
How big do you think that like a branch off has to be to create a new timeline? Is it like I picked the turkey sandwich over a ham sandwich today at lunch, or do you think it has to be like a major decision?
I think new timelines are created by, first of all, major decisions or minor things that have major effects. Minor decisions that have major effects. That's my understanding of how new timelines are created. But I don't think that just but you're sitting at dinner and you drop the fork on the floor, you bend down and pick it up and get another one. Incidents like that, I don't think necessarily will create a new timeline because it is next to irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit like the butterfly effect. So the little vibrations can make a big change.
Yep. And we do create new timelines all the time when we do different, change our mind about something that has been ongoing, when we change our mind to go a different direction or make different decisions.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one for you. I think everybody in their past have done something really stupid at one time. I got my hand up.
Once.
Yeah.
And
Got a few zeros behind that, and then yeah, you might be close.
yeah, how would you like to go back and correct that past so it never happened?
I don't have the time, to be honest, but it would be nice.
No, this one's gonna also, I forget the guy's name, but it's gonna be hard to wrap your head around too. You
Go on.
can. There is repeatable scientific experiments showing that you can go back and correct the past. There is a German scientist that did an experiment like this. His name was Helmut Schmidt. How much more German can you get than that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Helmut Schmidt, he put bioelectrodes, sensors on the head of people. And he told them to, and he had those the sensors hooked up to a random number generator. And they would give a click to the right ear and left ear. And even, I mean, randomly that should be 50-50 or 49-51, on an occasional 48-52. That should be random. And then they tested this, and it was pretty much random, 50-50.
Yeah.
And then when they looked at it, and then they did some tests, and they never looked at the results. Helmut gave this to an intern, and he said, sit and look at it and imagine that you have many, many more clicks on the left side than you do on the right side. And the intern sat there, and he did that for quite a lengthy time. And then they ran the recording. He found that the clicks on the left side had decreased. It was way down, and on the right side was far higher. That should not have happened with a random number generator. So, with other words, they did the clicks. It was 50-50, 51-49 something. And then they tried to imagine it being different, and they changed it after it was done. So that is just the tip of the iceberg that you can change. Let's say you did something stupid, let's say 8 years ago, and you really didn't want that thing to happen. So let's say that you go back in your mind before that time. Let's say go back 8.5 years back, and you sit there and you imagine yourself coming up to that time when you did that stupid thing. And now you imagine yourself doing a different decision, which did not lead to that thing happening. Let's say now you create a new timeline going a different direction, where you did not make that decision. You make a different one. Yeah. If you do that over and over again, very likely it could happen that you end up going down that new timeline where that stupid thing didn't happen.
But then would that not alter what's happening now?
I didn't quite catch that. Say again.
So by changing something that's happened in the past, would that not alter the now time?
No, because happenings are energy. Energy does not go away. In this timeline, that stupid thing happened. Nothing to do about it. You can't change that. But you can create a new timeline where this thing over here in that other timeline didn't happen.
Right.
So you will end up in a new timeline, and chances are that you will also be in the old timeline where that stupid thing happened. But your consciousness is not there to experience it again. Your consciousness stays in the new timeline where you will avoid that thing.
Yeah.
I almost asked, does that make any sense? But maybe not.
Yeah, it does. That actually does. I kind of get that. So,
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. Have you any questions, Nicole, before we go to the ones in the chat?
No, that was going to be my question about time travel and like if it affected the current timeline or maybe
Oh,
when.
sorry for stealing it.
That's okay. I had enough questions.
All right, cool. Right. Next one is from Nickname. So she's asking, can you anti-age if you can master self-healing and intention methods, for example? Please say yes.
I would say, actually, yes.
Yes.
There, I don't know about that. Is by switching timelines and going back into the past like that. I am not so sure how that would work, because you have built up a body here. That body has energy. If that energy, total energy composed in your body right now, go back previously, the energy may go with it, and that if you became younger by doing that, some of the energy you have now will have to go away or be somewhere else, and that is a concept that is hard to understand how it would happen according to quantum mechanics. Does that make any sense? So
yeah,
now there's another way to reverse the aging process. And that is, did you know that in 2009, 3 doctors got the Nobel Prize for discovering an enzyme that reverses the aging process, and nobody told you?
Correct.
I know, Andy. Yeah, we talked about that once.
Yeah, and, I remember you mentioned it because it's all to do with the patent.
Yeah, it can be done. Don't take my word for it. Go to the Nobel Committee's website.
That's it.
Go to 2009, scroll down to medical submissions, and read the papers. You're going to like it. There is an enzyme called telomerase or telomerase, I guess, however you pronounce it, that our body creates. But as we grow older, it doesn't create enough to hold a younger age. Science figured out what causes aging. There's many contributors to it, but it's about the lengthening and the shortening of the telomeres at the end of the chromosomes inside every cell of your body. As you grow older, if you do not have enough of this enzyme, telomerase, the telomeres will be shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until there's nothing left. And then the end of the chromosome start fraying, and the cells are no longer able to replicate themselves, and you get stuck with old cells in the body, and you get more and more old cells, and you get older and older and older, and you die. That's the process. Now, there are some Chinese herbs and stuff that can help the body create enough telomerase to hold the aging process. In fact, I'm doing it and it seems to work for me. Now, I found some really old people, and the government verified their age.
Yeah.
One of them, in fact, you guys on YouTube, no, not YouTube, yeah, there too, but Google the 256-year-old man, and you will find something really interesting. A guy named Li Xingyuan. He was a martial art instructor for the Chinese army as long as anybody would remember. He was married some 20 times over his lifetime, and one after another one, not at the same time. And he had over 200 children and grandchildren.
Wow.
And the government verified his age on several occasions. I also found a lady in Saudi Arabia. She died at 154, something like that, and also an old farmer yeah, there you go. There's Li Xingyuan.
That's him. Yep.
So now he doesn't look 24 anymore, but for
He looks how I feel.
Yeah, now 256. He looks okay for that age.
Mm-hmm.
He looks better than I thought he was going to look, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but
And by the way, in this book, I explain how to do it. I explain what I do: spiritual science, higher conscious thinking, and how to access the universal consciousness. You will see what I am doing. It's a nutrition program that some of these Chinese herbs that I'm taking will do this. Now, there is a pharmaceutical, and that's called TA-65. And it is said to also help you create telomerase so that you will stop the aging process. Well, I've studied that. Some people say it works great. Other people say I get nothing.
right.
So I don't really know what to believe, but hey, I'm cheap. So I use Chinese herbs because TA-65 could set you back about $600 a month. I'm doing it for about 40, and it seems to be doing all right for me. In just a few days, I'll be 78.
Wow.
So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and be happy with it. But I'll tell you, in that book, you will also find out what I'm doing. And anybody that buys the book, I am totally available to. Get a hold of me, and I'll answer questions. I'll talk with you if you like, or you'll be amazed how few people take advantage of that.
Yeah, $40 is not bad. I was going to say for $600, I'll just age gracefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Of course, I don't buy the supplements in capsules or pills. I buy it by the pound, and then I measure it out so that that's much cheaper that way.
Right. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to open a new membership at $40 a month.
Right?
Only to cover costs of its experimental purposes only.
Yeah, but there's one thing though that's good for you: coffee. You gotta have coffee.
I've one a day.
Yeah. That's all I get too. One a day.
I get up, make me coffee, go to work. About an hour later, it starts cooling down a bit, so I can start drinking it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. You guys over in England, though, I'm not so sure how much coffee they drink over there. Mostly tea, isn't it?
There's bath in it and everything. It's ridiculous over here. It really is. There's a couple of people in the chat that I talked to, and they just, I suppose they have it intravenous. They have that much of it. I'm like, I could not have that much coffee. I would never sleep again.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I can do caffeine all day, but I don't drink coffee.
You know?
You don't drink coffee?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Nope.
You're missing out on the good things in life.
And I'm American, so it's like
okay. I don't know what Simon Riley did there, but I wonder what it is.
He's one of the people I was talking about. I'll phone him up about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's probably already on his 5th cup of coffee. I'm still drinking me first. What is going on?
Oh,
But, yeah.
yeah.
So how does coffee work then?
Well, it has a cannabinoid effect. It isn't, but it has an effect like that. It makes you feel happier. It makes you more ambitious. You want to do something. And I don't know, there has physiological effects on the body also that kind of help you to stay more healthy as well. I read about this a long time ago, and
Yeah.
I'm totally on board with it. So
Cool. Thank you. I think Simon needs to drink more coffee.
yeah, yeah, you need coffee.
Oh, right.
One more
Next,
question.
do you want to do this one?
Sure.
It's your friend, is it? Sure it is.
Yes, she is my
Yeah.
friend.
See, I do remember things.
Yeah. Jenny says, is time slippage related to, say, forgetting how you got somewhere when you're driving?
Oh yeah, you're going down the road, and there's about an hour's drive, and about 40 minutes you find yourself there. What happened? I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I can theorize.
Yeah.
Remember when your brainwave pattern dropped down into below alpha in a hypnotic state? And that is a hypnotic state that you get. You will, or probably will, enter that state when you're watching TV on a really interesting show and you're totally engrossed in it. And driving down the road, your mind goes away and your subconscious mind is actually kind of driving the car. When you are in that low state, time seems to go. Oh, God, I got the dings going on here. The subconscious mind kind of tend to take over. And in that below 7, down into theta, time does not work necessarily as it does here. You may have a skip or a slippage of time to a faster or another present moment into the future. And I've heard people say this when they have car accidents. They say, I saw myself right before I hit and everything went into slow motion. Have you
Yeah.
heard people?
Yes.
How did that happen? It shouldn't, but your mind slowed everything down so that you could see every split second of it. Maybe the same thing happened when you are driving and you miss 20 minutes of the drive somewhere. That could be possibly something similar.
So can't speak. I know what I say, but it's not coming out. So, addition to that question, do you ever get people asking you? It takes longer. You get extra time. It's taking longer than what it would normally take, and they don't know why. And not due to traffic or roadworks or diversions or anything like that. Still the same route, but what should take them 20 minutes has took them half an hour or 35 minutes.
Okay, so somewhat similar as when you have a car accident that you see things going much slower. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, just yeah.
I haven't thought much about that, so I really don't know what to say. But within the concepts of what we have been talking about, the solution to that question is there somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Time is time. Since the mind create time,
Yeah.
the construct of time, it's got to go back to the mind somehow, because the mind create the slowing up of time during a car accident, and the speeding up of time going to your destination an hour away. So it is in there somewhere, and I haven't thought much about that, the difference between the two of them.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty.
It's
Do you...
weird how like everybody perceives time so differently. Like even if it's the same amount of time, 5 minutes, it can go so slow and seem like an hour, or it can seem like 30 seconds.
I have this. This has happened to me yesterday and today. So my alarm goes off at the same time every morning. Yesterday morning, it went off. Same routine every morning. I won't go through it. Don't want to bore you or give you too much information. I'll do what, and then if it still have some time left, I'll get back into bed like for 15, 20 minutes and just make the most of not having to get up and go to work. I've done everything else. All I need to do is get my lunch and go. So I did that yesterday, and it just went dead quick. I did my routine. It's like there's only like 2-3 minutes left. Exactly the same today. And I had a lot more time left. And even after I'd gone back to bed and got back up again, I still had like another 10, 15 minutes. But it is exactly the same time. It just seemed to go a lot slower than what it did yesterday. And it makes no sense. I don't get it. So I didn't just put helicopter. It's a trigger word, don't worry. I was just laughing at it. But it's just exact same routine. Same amount of time. Bathroom, brush my teeth, come back, get stuff ready for work. If I've got time, I'll get back into bed, get warm for a bit, then get up and go. Exactly. Yeah. Yesterday I had no time to do it. Today I had like double the amount of time what I normally have.
Boy, that's a tough one. I keep remembering what Star Trek saying, space is the final frontier, and I think they're wrong. It's the mind that is the final frontier, and absolutely anything we can expect, absolutely anything created in that mind to show up in our physical, expected or not expected.
Yeah.
Whatever we perceive to accept could show up.
Yeah. Because it's like I this morning I fell back to sleep a couple of times, and I thought I don't want to fall asleep because I've not got another alarm set, and I'm not going to be late. I've never been late for work, so I'm not going to start now. I'd fall asleep, and it feel like I'd been asleep for like 10, 15 minutes. I'd open my eyes, and it's like a minute, 2 minutes have passed.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just going so slow. It didn't make sense. It was doing me head in as well because it was annoying me. It's like just be the time it needs to be so I can get up and go. It just and then yesterday, like I said, I didn't have the time to do anything. I shut my eyes for what felt like a minute, and 10, 15 minutes had gone.
Yep.
So it's like complete opposites.
Yeah, it could very well be, and anything can happen. I don't really know the answer to that one, but mine could you could have fell asleep possibly for about 14 minutes and then woke up again, and it's hard to say.
Yeah, no, it's just annoying. It's more annoying than anything else.
Yeah.
Right. We have got another question
Okay.
from Og. So, and she's asking, so is this what they call a parallel universe, or is that something different?
A parallel universe. Well, any universe has many different realities and timelines in it. And a parallel universe, that is not part of the first universe I mentioned. It is a totally different one with other timelines and realities in it. Now, it appears as you may be able to switch from one universe to another one, but I have not, let's put it this way, explaining how that happens is way above my pay grade. So I would rather stick with one universe here. And if we also are in another one, in one of the timelines over there, we probably exist in both places.
Yeah.
But we are separated by a very tiny, that one universe is laid on top of another at a Planck distance of time between the two of them. And it appears as it is accelerated at a 90-degree angle of photons. So within one universe, we can have all kinds of things happen, but I'm not so sure how that bleed over into another one. That I can't understand.
Oh, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Could they intertwine at some point?
I believe it can, but I don't understand how that works.
Thank you for that.
Do you think that the different timelines are fundamentally like everything's pretty much the same in the different timelines, other than like the occurrences?
Yeah, and we can have two timelines parallel, and you're in both of them. Most of the things are somewhat similar, with maybe minor or some differences.
Yeah.
The universes, do you think, vary more? Or do you think they're also very similar?
Within the same universe?
Different universes. Do you think different universes have more differences, or do you think they're also very similar?
Boy, that's a tough one too. I would think that maybe, consciousness is universal and inter-universal. So what the consciousness here in this universe appears to be also connected with consciousness within the other one through the strings that bring space together. There is options for that. One universe being connected to another one through the string theory. But how that works, that again is above my pay grade.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. A lot of what ifs and theories.
So it's a lot. It is a lot to take in, all this, and some of it, I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand the concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. And
that's me too. There's a lot of things that I read and I see, and then I do a lot of meditation, and I ask the universe to bring me the answer. And a lot of times the answer will coincide with the scientific experiments that I find later on within quantum mechanics. So there is a connection between what's sitting there waiting for us and what is happening in this universe, in this timeline. And the concepts that are here explained by quantum mechanics, they can be very real, but some of them may not be real. So that's why we need to go like Albert Einstein said, I can think on a problem for 10 hours and nothing comes. And then I think about nothing and the answer comes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why meditation is usually the gate to higher consciousness. If you don't do it, you're missing out.
Yeah, I think you get more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much meditate every day now. I'd say 5 out of 7. So I'll usually do it about an hour before we go live on here. I think it just helps me focus and concentrate on what's like with everything that's going on.
Yep, I do too.
And yeah, it just makes me feel better for doing it then as well.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. And it's as well, it's finding a way that works for you. I don't necessarily like completely go, if you know what I mean. I just sit here and like I said, I put music on and I just get into the zone, get the correct headspace of what's gonna be going on the
Yeah.
stream, and hopefully.
Yeah. Do you meditate with music?
Yes.
Okay.
I use binaural beats and isochronic tones as well.
That's
So I'll do
different.
both of them. Depends what mood I'm in and what have you. But yeah, it does. It really does help clear my head.
Yeah.
I love the 8D. It's like brain floss.
The what? Sorry.
Yeah, like the 8D music where it goes like.
Oh yes, yeah, from one side to the other. Because I've got. Oh, look where it is. Here it is. Simon made me buy it.
Ah, okay, all right.
It's a Bluetooth one. It's got a little nose thing. Don't know what that's about, but yeah. So I'll put that on at night and listen to a lot of the binaural stuff.
Yeah.
And when I do that, I always end up with a solid night's sleep, and I never remember. I never remember my dreams either when I do that way. So that's what I use when I try and do the astral projection as well, which is something that I need to try that a little bit more than what I have been doing.
Yeah, remembering your dreams are very important because there is learning lessons in there. Yeah. And there's tricks you can do to help yourself remember your dreams. And I wrote about that in the book too. And one of those tricks is just plain and simple. Take a short glass of water, put it next to your bed, and then drink the water right before you go to sleep, and then talk to yourself as you fall asleep. I will remember and I will understand every experience in dreams I have tonight, or something like that fits your vocabulary. If you keep saying that over and over and over again, that is very important. And also, this is a way you can reprogram the subconscious mind. In fact, if you go to Broadcast Team Alpha on YouTube, going to the video again, become a member of the Broadcast Team Alpha on YouTube, and you can see a lot of videos in there that show you, and by repetition, you can reprogram your subconscious mind while you sleep. And and it is so simple. I mean, you're not doing anything anyway, you're just sleeping.
Oh yeah, but, not up to much.
Yeah, so but keep this so low that you can barely hear it.
Right.
So it doesn't keep you awake. But when you fall asleep, that thing will keep running and running for hours and reprogram the subconscious mind. I used that in flight school when I came here, with I had a slight language barrier, and I did really good on the test by programming in things that I had talked in on the tape that I needed to remember the next day for a test.
Right. Got ya. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. Right, we do have one quick question from Nicole's friend, Jenny. And it is, can you do travel to different dimensions during hypnosis as well? I only did it once and totally lost track of time.
Oh, this is a good one. I would say yes.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it happen, and I have made it happen.
Oh.
To different dimensions. First of all, let me take one example first. My co-host on the Broadcast Team Alpha show, which you really should watch, she is a hypnotherapist. And she does something that I haven't seen anybody else do. She takes people put them in a hypnotic state, and then take them forward in time to meet themselves. Let's say 2
Oh.
years into the future, to meet themselves and have a discussion, maybe have advice from themselves. Hopefully, 2 years from now, you're a little smarter than you are today. So you're able to give yourself advice about something that you may be involved doing right now. And she is excellent at this, and there's some phenomenal results that has come from it.
Yeah.
And but you can also, under hypnosis, you could probably also go back in time, and I've done that. 2,000 years earlier, I had a lady come. That was decades ago. I put her under, and I asked her what she was doing before she was born, and she started speaking in another language, and I had no clue what she was saying. I kept asking questions. She answered after each question, so she understood me, but I didn't understand her. And it was recorded, so later we ran it by people at the language department at University of Minnesota. And he had it sent to a guy that he knew in Osaka, Japan. And 6 months later, I got an envelope with a tape and an explanation in it. That was a language she was speaking that was abolished pretty much about 1,100 years ago.
Oh.
So you can visit the past. I don't know about different timelines. That I've never really thought about. You probably can, but I don't know. You won't find a lot of hypnotists doing this, because in order to do stuff like this, you got to get them way below the alpha range of awareness into deep theta. If your brain waves are sitting around 4 cycles a second, you have no clue what the hypnotists are telling you. It bypasses the conscious mind altogether, goes directly into the subconscious, and becomes a command.
Right.
So this is something that when the hypnotists know what they're doing, you can do these things. The hypnosis books don't really talk much about it, because there's a lot of things in hypnosis that is not talked about, because that's why when you do a hypnosis session, make sure it is recorded and you get a copy of the recording so you know what was said.
No, thank you for that. And unfortunately, we have come to the end of the stream.
That was a good one. Very thought-provoking.
Yeah, well, I had fun. I've never met a microphone yet I didn't like, so this was fun.
No, thank you again for coming on. Absolute pleasure.
Can you just show the book one more time?
Yeah. This is the Spiritual Science, Higher Conscious Thinking, and How to Access the Universal Consciousness, which will teach you how to use your mind in ways that you normally would think would be impossible. Now, I do have another one. If you are in business, would like to be in business, or just want a smooth running family, you may consider this one. Oh boy, you can't see it.
There.
Universal Success Principles and How Billionaires Think. Contact me on that one, and I'll make sure you get it. Or you could call. There's a catalog which have it for sale, because I like those people. I want to support them. So it's called Tools for Freedom is the catalog. And there's an 800 number that is 1-800-770-8802. And that is toolsforfreedom.com. And that book is, let's see, it's in the last catalog. It's on page 40, and it is, in order to get it, you order number 9085, because I do mentor a few people, and before I even start talking to them, I want to make sure they have that book, because I have been able to associate with several billionaires, and when you talk with a billionaire, you don't talk about the weather. There
No.
is substance. There is always learning and substance in the conversation. And I have a lot of it in there. Their principles that made them billionaires
Yeah.
are, many of them are in there.
No. Thank you for that. Right, we are gonna have to end it there. Do have a couple of updates. So the first one is no stream tomorrow. I'm having a day off. Friday. So it's the encrypted table, and it will consist of me, Nicole, Dominic Zenden, and Michelle Gray. This is the one that's going to be the last Friday of each month, but that's not going to start till April, just to things that we've already got set in place between, well, this month and next month. Then on Saturday, doing a 10-hour live stream. So there's 5 hosts, and we're all going to be doing the full 10 hours. So all 5 of us, 10 hours. And then every other hour, starting from the second hour, we're going to have a guest on for 1 hour solid. In between that, we're going to be doing different things. We're doing an ESP test. Thank you to Baby with Laser for getting that started eventually. Massive story, but he ended up making a Facebook account, getting my number. He just sent them to me direct. And also, the music from the break is what Baby with Laser wrote and played on his guitar. So, and he said to me I could have it if I wanted to use it. So, thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. So, Saturday, Nicole only knows the co-hosts that are coming on. She doesn't know any of the guests. It is all pretty much paranormal related, whether they've done going out doing paranormal investigations privately, public, TV, YouTube, whatever platform that they use. Everyone, bar possibly one person out of the 10 of us that are going to be doing it, is pretty much paranormal investigating. So yeah, so that's that. And then on Sunday, we at 5 o'clock UK time, which is 12 midday Eastern time. That's what I forgot where I was then. We have Ron Iacovetti and his wife Lourdes Gonzalez coming on, and they do Staticom, which is real time spirit communication. So is that right? Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty amazing. It's like a spirit box, only way better.
Yeah, and he's going to be doing that on Sunday, isn't he? He's going to be doing the Spirit Box live, I think. I hope so. If he wasn't, he is now.
I don't know.
He will.
I thought he was talking about it.
I'll ask him. I'm sure he will. So if he doesn't,
that sounds really interesting. And another thing too on spirit communication, if you want to hear spirits talking to you, go to YouTube and punch in the search bar the Tesla Spirit Radio.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned that a couple of weeks ago.
Nikola Tesla he got a patent in 1901, a simple radio, 14 different parts to it. That when you put that one together, you can communicate, you can ask questions, and somebody will answer you. Well, most of the time. And you can hear them on YouTube. They're talking to them. Another one is that they're doing here in Phoenix, Tucson, Arizona, at the university. Dr. Gary Schwartz is putting together something called the Soul Phone. Through a computer, he's typing in questions. Through an antenna, he's getting answers back. And he said, so far, the answers has been correct to every question they have sent out. And somebody
Ooh.
out there is answering. So I think you got a heck of a show coming up there. You're going to probably
Yeah.
talk
Well,
about
we've
stuff.
got three solid shows.
Yeah.
So the one on Saturday is a 10-hour one where we're going to be doing different things in between. I don't want to give too much away, but I'm going to be setting up a second camera pointing down, and I'm going to do some pendulum with the chart. It's going to be yes, no, maybe. So you'll be able to see right down, and then you'll have this camera where it'll be like profiled. So yeah, so you'll know there's no trickery because you'll be able to see me from the side and then holding it as well. And yeah, we've got a few different things going on in between the guests coming on. And
Hey,
I've
great.
got
I'm really
a
excited.
big bag of snacks as well for Saturday because I'm going to be in the house on my own. I'm going to have nobody to go and get me anything, so I'm going to have to have it all there. So
Yeah.
well, thank you again, Ag, for coming on. Absolutely appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. It's great chatting with you. Now I have so much like in my brain to think about.
Thank you for having me on. And if you get bored sometime in the future, give me a call and we'll have some fun
Definitely.
again.
It won't be too far away. I know that.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's everything from us. I think I've updated you on that. So we'll see you. Friday is 8 o'clock. Saturday is 12 midday UK time. Add or take hours off depending what time zone you live in, and then it's 5 p.m. on Sunday. But I'll let you know each day as we go. So thanks again. Thank you, Nicole, for coming on and helping as you do anyway. But I'll just say thank you.
Yep. Just send me a link.
It was Nicole's birthday yesterday, so happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy yesterday
See,
birthday.
I plan my birthdays around the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll drop you an email. I've got your email address. Am I all right to share it to people that want to contact you regarding the book or anything else?
That'd be good. Thank you.
Excellent.
And send me a link and I'll help you give it legs.
Perfect. I'll get that done as soon as we've come off here and I've downloaded it all. So yeah, we'll see you 8:30 or 5:30, 3:30, depending where you are, on Friday. So take care and see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, gotta do that. I forgot to do it then. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.